a partnership. Has the head. And the doctor fights. I was gonna be pissed if the kid's responsible for the doctor's death. Like, he's just gonna stand there and watch the doctor get killed. Well, he's been alive for a while. On the mainland, huh? This movie, it was, the pacing's kind of, especially when they're running away, the pacing's sort of, but I guess how many things, do we need to draw it out that they're escaping? Not really. But the pacing's kind of funny, a little bit. And then the stag, they did look CGI when the stags were running. And then I thought the whole building collapsed. I guess it was just the roof maybe collapsed in the second floor, but the whole thing didn't collapse entirely. But still, get out of the building. So they get out the building, and they just decide, we're just gonna have to run back. The alpha, the other one, the first one, it's waiting for them, and it can run really fast. It runs really fast. The guys, two March guys, they fell asleep, but I guess in their defense, nothing really happens. Probably not. Who knows how far inland he was walking before he ran into Jimmy. But Jimmy has been in that area because we see there's graffiti at some point that we see, and it mentions Jimmy. It mentions the name Jimmy on it, so we know. Oh, that's the hint there, is it? I had a feeling the kid, when we see him in the beginning, we're gonna see him again, and they focus on the gold cross because that's the indicator. That's the besides him saying his name's Jimmy, and you kind of like, okay, it has to be him. It's a blonde. He got blonde hair. It's the guy. It's got blonde hair. But he's got the key, the hand. He's like upside down now. The cross still. He still got it, right? That's his piece for his dad. They got tracksuits on. They're like, and they're all blondes. Actually, it's kind of funny too. They're all blondes. They have tracksuits on. They're colorful tracksuits. And they have golf club. They like, it's fun for them. It's a sport for them. They pow pow. We're killing them. It's cool to see the kid get better at shooting. Now he's not missing. Although they don't retrieve their arrows. They do this in the film. When they were killed the other two things, I'm like, why didn't they just... Dad's like, oh, we're all out of arrows. Why didn't you pick them? Why didn't you try to retrieve them? Maybe it's hard to retrieve an arrow, though. It's not easy. And these bodies aren't rotted. It's not like Walking Dead. I guess they're not rotten. If you're wondering, that's my girlfriend. Sorry, baby. She has things to say, but she doesn't talk on camera. But she has things to say. But what was I thinking? Yeah, he doesn't retrieve the arrows at all. But unlike the Walking Dead zombies, they're slow. I don't think they ever run. I don't know. They still continue on so long. Maybe the zombies are updated now. Maybe they're stronger. Like Resident Evil zombies, right? But with these ones, and they don't seem to always devour people either. They bite the two soldiers, and then almost immediately they start vomiting blood, which means they're turning. And then the other guy gets thrown. Unless you get the alpha thing where it rips your head off. Because I like when this Eric kid, he says, oh, maybe, I got Viking blood in me. Maybe I'm going to turn into one of those things. Possibly, if you were just bit regularly. Because, again, it doesn't seem like they'll bite you a little. Like the dad, his father is a preacher. How funny is that, right? His daughter's a priest. And his father gets bit. I'm thinking, oh, all these zombies around, he's got to be sworn, he's going to be eaten, right? Ripped apart. Dad comes out, he was screaming, then he starts screaming as a zombie, and then he becomes the leader zombie. He leads all the other zombies away. It'd be cool that dad subsequently became the alpha zombie, the first alpha zombie, right? Wouldn't that be funny? I like when they go into the gas station, and the mom knows immediately. She's a little crazy, but she knew immediately. And she even tries to go back outside. She's, oh, it's gas, Jimmy, it's gas. Or Spike, it's gas. The kid's name is Spike. It's kind of funny. It's post-apocalypse, right? But, she tells him that. But the kid, he did save their lives, did he? Because if they didn't go in there, they're about to get swarmed and then turn into zombies, I guess. But then the soldier guy, we see him on the roof, and he says, get down. And I saw it was going to shoot in there. It's going to light it all on fire. And sure enough, it did just that, light it all on fire. I like that with the introduction of this guy, we learned that, I thought when he was talking about delivery drivers, I'm thinking the whole world is messed up. I'm thinking it's like Walking Dead. Everywhere is infected. But we learned that actually they mentioned, I remember they mentioned this in the beginning of the film. I don't know why it escaped me, but they mentioned this in the beginning of the film. The UK is quarantined, the island, right? The island of Great Britain is on quarantine. But the continental Europe, the infection's been combated, I guess, successfully, because the guy said they got internet. He shows a picture of this lady, says the fiance, it's got Botox, like all these, fake boobs, Botox. It looks very fake, which is why when the kid sees the face, like, my God, what happened to her? What happened to this person? And then he says, like, I know there's this person, which she's like selfish or something. The allergy, the lips swell up, just like that. That must be what's happening, right? But she's at a fancy restaurant, so life is normal. And he says, my friend's a delivery driver. And I was saying, you're wasting your life. Well, now look at me now. I did the military stuff, and now I'm stuck. There's no rescue. Even the island that's in proximity, the island's, I guess, essentially on quarantine too. It's not so far off the mainland. You can walk from the island to the mainland. But, even the island, the lady said, listen, Jimmy, you know the rules, right? If you go there and you fall into trouble, nobody's going to rescue you. She said it, right? Now the cross is right there is a fine example. But they've learned their lesson. If you can't go, no rescue mission, because then they don't come back. Everybody dies. So if you go there, you're on your own. That's it. And then she also even makes a point. So I'm going to say maybe some of these zombies talk, because she doesn't let them in right away. They make a point to, she wants to look at his eyes. Maybe the zombies talk, because it seems like they turn almost immediately. So I don't know, why you gotta look at my eyes for, unless some of the zombies talk, or some people, for whatever reason, they don't turn right away. I don't know. But yeah, mom's like crazy. So, but she knew she had cancer. She says, I'm sorry. She says, I'm sorry to the kid. Maybe she said, I'm sorry. Not because she knew, but she's just sorry that she's gonna die, or that she's choosing to die. I don't know. The doctor is cool. I like the doctor. The doctor character is, because we're told he's crazy, he gone insane, and but he's not crazy. He's not insane. It's actually pretty sound, right, of mind. He knows that the virus doesn't like iodine, so he paints his body with iodine, and it makes him appear like red and like this odd. It's not quite blood, because it's not blood tint, so it's not blood necessarily, right? But it's odd painting. He knows that this combination tranquilizer thing, basically tranquilizer, right, of these two medicines, incapacitates the giant zombie, the alpha zombie, incapacitates it. So you shoot it with this, but he doesn't kill. This is a very peculiar thing I found. He doesn't need anything maybe to incapacitate it and kill it, because we know when he gets the rope to cross over, he mentions this will keep him away. And I'm thinking, maybe the zombie, they don't go over water, right? The people, the same way they're safe on the island, the zombie, if it approaches the river, it doesn't like water, it fears water maybe. But the alpha runs right across the river, and it goes into a little shrine with the bones and stuff. But then I guess it was smelling the baby. There's a pregnant one. We get a shot of the pregnant one. I was thinking, maybe it's going to start giving birth right there on the river. It doesn't do this. It gets very in the train. Actually, it separates itself from the flock. It was like in a group of them. And she's screaming. And then it's like this human moment that the mom shares with her, because they put the hands together, almost like they understand each other's pain. So for a moment, she was like a person. And then, of course, immediately, it turns, not immediately, it was a while. They kind of had a rest period. But then it turns into, back to zombie mode. The guy blasts it. But you notice that the baby comes out, and it's actually it's clean looking. It doesn't appear infected. Oddly enough, very odd. It's very odd. Even the doctor, nobody has an answer for it. It was very odd, very interesting. It's what would have happened? Maybe this lady was pregnant, she died. Something like that, right? Maybe something like that. In Walking Dead, right? If you die, you're a zombie. You give birth, it's a zombie baby, right? That's how it works there. But not this. This, a human... Maybe it's not a foolproof thing. Maybe some people die pregnant and it comes on. But then it's also an idea, maybe the alpha wants... I think it wants the baby. I think that's actually what it wants. I don't think it necessarily wants them. It wants, because it even it goes up to the woman and it looks at it and it gets pissed. Arrgh! It gets fucking angry. My goodness. So I'm like, oh, okay, that was the wife. That was the partner it chose. That's his baby. So I think it doesn't necessarily want to kill them. I mean, it wants to kill them too. Why not get a trophy? But especially wants to kill the baby, right? Or not kill the baby. Wants the baby. Wants his kid back. But no, the kid leaves the baby behind with dad, and dad gets like pissed. I guess now he has a responsibility. You know, maybe it's a slap in dad's face. Now, listen, this Rosie chick, she's not gonna be with you, I don't think, because now what are you, somebody's stepmom to this random baby? That's just not my baby. It's your baby. Your son gave it to you. He didn't give it to me. Maybe, I don't know. But he leaves them with the kid. He even gives him a name. The kid's got a name. So maybe part 2, part 3. That should be part 3. 28. Well, it can't be 28 decades, because then some people will be dead. But, you know, part 3 can be like Isla's going to look for her brothers. I don't know. Who knows what the part 3 is going to be like, if they make a part 3. But Dad, you lost your whole family. You gained one, but you lost. And then the kid, he meets Jimmy, and Jimmy's like super cool. Jimmy's like a badass motherfucker. He actually, like, he says, oh, sounds like you got some more coming. You mind if we join? It'd be our pleasure, honestly, to kill those things. And obviously he's asking, but he's not asking. This kid, listen, there's only one of you. These boulders are blocking the road, the way. Just let us kill them so you don't die. How about that? They even keep one alive and they hang it upside down, which I guess suggests the one we saw earlier. It wasn't a person that was treated bad, like, you know, something had a falling out, but rather it was a zombie. And that's why there's an MMY. There's an MMY in there. And now you have to ask, I guess Jimmy's a little crazy too. Because why would you kill this? Why would you put a zombie upside down with your name on it inside this little abandoned farmhouse building? What's the point of that? In fact, because the zombies see that and they're like, oh, that's Alpha Jimmy. Don't fuck with him. It's one of the tough humans out here. I don't know. Mom freaks out. Mom's like, oh, we're on the mainland? She sees the town and she's like, well, that's the mainland. Oh my God, we're on the mainland? Yeah, so you know Mom's crazy. Mom, she has moments where she disassociates for a while. So when she was walking in the woods with him out on the causeway, I guess she was disassociating. But then she came to her senses when she realized, oh God, this kid brought me here of all places. My goodness, fucking kid. And he's like, yeah, Mom, sure enough, I did. I brought you here. I brought you to help you get better and all that. I guess in some sense he did help his mom get better. She died more peacefully than she would have died. She was suffering. She was suffering. She was in pain. I think she mentioned that to him. Like, honestly, I'm like in pain all the time. So I'm always in bed. I don't eat shit. I'm just in pain. So the doctor looks at her and she says like the nod, like, yeah, you can kill me. Give me that tranquilizer shit. And I can just. And then the doctor does his whole ritual. He burns. I guess he does that as a respect to people. I'm guessing because there's a thing. They were people because their clothes were clean, right? So all those bodies there were people that died. But I'm guessing the doctor didn't kill them. That's where the context was lost when they first stumbled upon him. I'm guessing he finds people that they die, their bodies, until he gives them like a funeral of sorts. Why does he do it? I guess he explains why he does it. He's bored. I mean, what else do you gotta do? How are you gonna fill your time? Where does he live? We don't get to know. Like, well, the doctor has the underground hiding place there. Maybe he lives under there. He hides underground, I guess. I don't know. He almost dies in that moment. I said, oh my God, don't let the doctor die. I'll be pissed the doctor died. But then Jimmy grabs the dart, he stabs it in the arm of the alpha one. But it took a minute to do that. I said, holy shit, no, don't let the doctor. I said, wow, what are the odds? The doctor was okay. So it reminds me of Walking Dead, where they meet a character, they're alive, they have their own little farm, their sanctuary. But then you meet the Rick gang, you die. My dad said this. He said, well, watch it. They kill that character. But you know what? They think about it. This guy was safe. Had the house there. Had the setup. The triggers. They hear the zombies coming. Was safe. But what happened? It met someone from Rick gang. You meet someone from the Rick group. Okay, guaranteed to die. You don't have the plot armor. That's my goodness. And so, yeah, sure enough. But this guy didn't die. I'm like that. And the doctor said, I think it's time you go home. Because, I think it wanted the baby, maybe. That's what it really wanted. It wants the baby. That was his baby. Maybe it's going to come after the island now. It can definitely go over that water for sure. Yeah, no doubt about that. 28 years later. The beginning is kind of sad. All the kids in there, they look like they're scared. Well, some of them look like they're invested in the show. Other ones look like they're scared. They're like a little older kids, so they know what's going on. And the lady, there's some lady there. I guess that other lady was his mom. Maybe the other one was too. I don't know. But it's like, Jimmy, run! Jimmy, run! Ah! And yeah, Jimmy ran, and Jimmy lost both parents. Although his dad was kind of crazy. His dad went crazy. Dad wasn't going to save you. That was a good movie. I liked it. 28 years later. Good stuff.